We're doing this.
We're doing this.
The debut episode
Of Concrete Canvases. Welcome, everyone. I'm with Eshan Talukder. I'm Thommy.
Government name is crazy.
I'm sorry, my fault. I'm with Eshan. I'm Thommy, and we're gonna just jump into it.
We are two college kids that really like music, we like the arts, and today we'll be discussing one of the best pieces of music and art, which I would say are the same thing. This music is a piece of art to be known for generations. Fuck you.
What did I do? Okay.
Yeah, so we'll be discussing Igor by Tyler, the Creator. A lot of people consider this Tyler, the Creator's best album. I would consider it one of his best.
But you got some favorites?
As far as consistency goes, overall, Igor is my favorite. How about you?
I like it the most, but I think this is also, again, one of the few albums from Tyler that I've listened to in its entirety, aside from Chromacopia, because I think I love that album.
Yeah, he's a new gen.
I'm a very,
Yell
I'm
at
very new to
him.
the scene for Tyler.
Call him names in the comments.
Okay. But truly, I only listened to the album in its entirety maybe like about a week and a half ago, maybe no, even sooner. I knew some songs off of the album, like fucking Earthquake or Gone Gone Thank You, New Magic Wand and stuff like that, and I'd have them in my playlist, but I never took the time to actually listen to the album in its entirety. So doing so, I really wish I did that sooner. I will say you put me on. You put me on.
It's always a good day when I put someone onto some good shit.
So we're just gonna jump right into it?
Let's jump into it, man. Let's start off with the first song, Igor's Theme. Now, going into this song, you hear like a very hard horn.
Oh yeah, it's a very distorted. Yeah, I know. Because you know what it reminded me? Like On Site. That's what it reminded me. Like a very distorted.
Not even talking about Kanye this episode.
Sorry, my fault.
Foreshadowing.
I love Kanye.
Anyways, so it starts off very distorted, but like it turns into something that like scratches my brain in just the right way. And I know I sound like Anthony Fantano when I say that. I'm not that pretentious, I swear. But what did you think of like going into this song? Like,
I think it sets a good tone for the rest of the album. I mean, it does act as Igor's theme, and Igor is, I guess, the main character for this entire story. Mm-hmm. So it does set a good tone for the rest of the album. I think the lack of lyrical content kind of does something there, and it kind of pays homage to, on the physical copies of Igor, Tyler has like a little paragraph for all the listeners saying, like, listen to the album in its fullest, full volume, no distractions, do whatever you want. And throughout the song, you hear, riding around town, they're gonna feel this one. Mm-hmm. And we do. I mean, when I was listening to the song, I said, like, when I listened to it in its entirety, I was driving to Long Island, and I felt it. So
for me, I was on the bus going to school back in high school, and my commute was horrible, but it was a little better hearing Igor. Just, I will admit, I restarted a few songs just to like really understand them, because at first glance, I mean that's true for a lot of music. At first glance, you don't quite understand it. Igor's theme, I'm not ashamed to say that I did fall asleep to it once.
But you were able to fall. I mean, you have to understand this song is like very.
It is
in your
very
face,
yeah. It's very rough, but you know what was rougher? The BX-22 bus.
Okay, yeah.
Don't go to school in the Bronx, kids. Fun fact about the main lyric, "Riding around town, they could feel this one." In 2018, Tyler actually crashed his Tesla, and shortly after that, he tweeted, "quote unquote, riding around town, they gonna feel this one," kind of like foreshadowing to the album, which I thought was really cool. Like in hindsight, I mean, obviously I wasn't around. I was like 12 at the time or some shit.
When did this album come out?
2019. So I actually forgot how old I was.
We're in middle school. Wow.
Yeah, we were in middle school.
Wow, we're babies. Oh my gosh. I'm only 18.
Yeah, fucking call
You're gonna be
names.
19 soon.
Yo, don't fucking
You're
talk
so
to me.
old.
Don't fucking
oh my
talk
god.
to me. Let's move on to Earthquake.
Earthquake. Okay. I just fumbled the baddie.
I keep fumbling baddie.
Okay. Earthquake. You start with that one.
Alright, yeah, sure. Earthquake's probably like his most well-known song off Igor, and probably
his entire discography.
Only dwarfed by "See You Again."
Yeah.
Everyone knows "See You
Yeah,
Again."
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Best TikTok trend ever, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, he ever since he found that alternate intro on the dance, he has not stopped doing it. He's actually addicted.
I love it.
It's a good dance.
I love
don't get
it.
me wrong, but like, if that's the wrong. That's Sai! That's Sai the
My
frontman!
My fault.
Okay, lost my train of stuff.
My fault.
Okay, so that song specifically, Earthquake, and I understand why it's so popular. It's very catchy. It can apply to a lot of things. A lot of people can relate to it. Fumbling baddies, that is.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
Even
also
though-
like him saying I think I'm developing feelings for you. You really like, I think there's a connection kind of, and so it kind of like develops into that. And eventually towards the end of the song he says like, "Don't leave, it's my fault."
my fault.
Yeah, exactly. And I wanted to ask you a question about that. Right? In the context of the album and everything like that, do you think being vulnerable while you're like having feelings like that, is that a good thing?
Well, I think it really depends on the stage at which you know this person. Like, if there's someone that you have an affinity for, but they're kind of just, what's the word? Before friends. Like,
What, like talking stage?
shoot, no. It starts with like an A.
Acquaintance.
Acquaintance. Yes. If you're just acquaintances, I don't think you should be that vulnerable yet. Like,
But he kind of just dives into it. And
Yeah,
that's
I
the
mean-
thing with Igor as a character. He kind of just jumps right in. He's like, I see this person, I like this person, and you make me feel a certain way.
Mhm.
Don't leave me. And he starts, I don't know, falling into his hole.
Yeah,
very
that
early on.
that kind of starts his obsessiveness that he displays throughout the song, especially towards songs like Puppet and whatnot. But there is some hesitation still there, which is evident in I Think. Nice transition, right?
That was I think is personally my favorite song off the album. It's a very rhythmic song. I can dance to it, despite the lyrics being very belittling of himself.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's just a very like vibey song. So.
I mean, going off that belittling, I mean, how can I tell you? How can I measure up? He's still very hesitant. He doesn't have quite the confidence in how he wants to formulate his opinions, his, like, romantic expressions, you know?
Yeah, when you're talking about Igor's album as a whole, it's a story, and we're following Igor as he's, developing feelings for someone. And very early on, you can tell this is only the third song in the album. He's putting the person that he views or like starting to like, right? Because he's saying, "I think I like this person."
Mhm.
That's the entire point of the song, but on a pedestal, saying, "How can I measure up to you?" And that's another question. Do you think that's a good thing to do very early on? Because I personally don't. I mean, that's very tunnel vision. Like you're seeing all the good in one person, but none of the bad.
Yeah, you start ignoring the bad when you're that, like, kind of smitten, so to speak.
I don't know if I can really talk on that because I've been there and done that.
I haven't, so I can talk as much shit as I want. Yeah, that's not a good thing. Don't do
I'm
that.
colorblind, so I don't see no red flags. Okay.
Don't
Sorry.
don't take advice from this guy.
Oh no! Don't! I'm the one that needs advice. I'm very.
Yeah, so getting that tunnel visioned with your affinities, I would say, you gotta think with your brain, then your crotch, you know,
Yes.
Mhm.
But also
or your heart in this case. Sorry. What?
hard.
Heart.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Idiota.
I thought you were saying like I think you're hard. I was like, no, not yet. Jokes.
It's too early in the morning for
Not
these.
that kind of show. Not that kind of show. My fault.
We talked about this in the trailer. It's not that kind of show.
My fault. But as much as I have to say, like, oh my god, like so early on, this guy's putting this person or the guy. He's talking about a guy.
Yeah,
and
he
it's-
is talking about
right.
that.
Very very early on in the album, and it's a story. You're putting the person, your love interest, on a pedestal, right? In the music video, the love interest kind of acknowledges Igor and his advances. If you see towards the end, and I'll put down the YouTube video, I'll kind of have that there. But towards the end, you have like the love interest walk up to Igor and kind of like acknowledge, not maybe reciprocate. I won't say that much, but his advances towards it. So it's like, yes, you're putting him on a pedestal, but when you're also getting that attention in return, can I blame you?
Yeah, so that acknowledgement of the love and that kind of like vague, is he accepting of it, that would probably drives the obsession that we see throughout the song even more, and that's what makes kind of the heartbreak and like acceptance hurt even worse, which we see in later songs throughout the album.
Yeah.
Especially New Magic Wand. I'm really excited to talk about that.
And with that whole like giving you the attention in return of your advances, you kind of see that in, this isn't in the I guess the official publication, but it was like one of those unreleased, in Boyfriend, which I put in like 5.5 on my little script here. But Boyfriend, specific lines. He says like, "I don't want to play these games. Would you be my boyfriend?" Because
He wants a direct
Igor,
answer.
yeah, exactly. He wants a direct answer, and he doesn't want to be like just strung around and stuff. Also, a little foreshadowing. So he's being like strung around a little bit by this guy. So it's like he doesn't want to play these games, and it's kind of like it's complicating the story a little bit because you're following Igor again as a character. It's kind of like a novel almost. Throughout with his love interest, and you're kind of like, why are you falling in love so quick? Why are you kind of, I wouldn't say obsessed, not yet.
Yeah, later.
It develops into that, but what like, I would question it at first, and then I heard this, and I'm starting to think like, yeah, you're falling for someone, but they're kind of stringing you around, and you're maybe getting led on a little bit. So of course you wouldn't want to play those games. Who would? So I mean, I've been there. I don't know if you.
No.
So I can't really blame. I can't.
Don't
really blame
pat
him.
my fucking shoulder.
I can't really blame him. No, it's good. You haven't gotten your heart broken, but fuck you, not you, but like you know who you are.
You could be talking to you were talking to a whole choir right now. You were talking to a whole syndicate. I'm the polar opposite of this guy, and honestly, I'm not too sure if that's a bad thing.
That's what makes this show so good. I'm the lover boy. Not really. I don't know nothing about love.
Am I the hater boy?
Yeah, absolutely. Every time, no, you all have to understand. Every time, like, it comes near Valentine's Day, or like if I'm talking to this girl, or a relationship starts sparking, and I go, Eshan, I think this girl is the one. I really, really like her.
Like
She's
I haven't
amazing.
heard that 50 times before.
Right? Yeah, exactly. He responds with that A-Train kid.
Dude, I didn't do it this February, okay? I held on.
And you know what's the worst part is that every time he sends that, I swear it's like not even like a month afterwards we end up breaking up. So it's like it's like a jinx almost.
Yeah, I didn't do it last year.
You're a
Okay.
jinx.
No. I know that fucking scene. It's basically it's just fucking disguised racism. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the actual interlude.
Yeah, sorry, but back to boyfriend. Just let me cover that up or like finish that again. It's Igor kind of getting led on just a little bit. Not led on. I wouldn't say led on, but he's sort of getting the attention. He's confused.
Yeah. Like, do you like me or not, then? And that was kind of supposed to be the interlude because at the end of Boyfriend, we get what is now the actual interlude, which is exactly what you run from. You end up chasing.
And there's not much to say about this, right? At least I don't. It's not a very melodic interlude. It's not very lyrical, but I do like that quote. Exactly what you run from, you end up chasing.
That's a quote from a movie. I actually forgot which one.
I wouldn't know. I'm not a film enthusiast like that. I really wish I was because I see so many edits and stuff on TikTok. Like I haven't watched Interstellar yet, and I've been meaning to. So like.
Dude, we gotta watch that together.
Yeah.
We will watch that.
Okay. I hear only good things about certain films. I'm like I still haven't watched it yet. So I literally have a list on my notes app. But I like that quote. Exactly what you run from, you end up chasing. And I like it because I think that applies to more than just love. I think that applies to a lot of different things.
Sorry, I was dead ass pulling it up because I did want to talk about it. It was from a comedian in like 1970, Gerard Carmichael. I actually don't know how to say his name.
I have no idea how to pronounce that. No clue.
Okay, let's move on to this was one of my favorite songs for a while back, like about a year ago or two. Running Out of Time, and the reason I like this song so much is because I won't be ashamed to admit I had a little stage where I was in a little yearning. Yeah, give me that DreamWorks smirk. Yeah, I had a little stage. I went past it very fast. It was like a week, but I felt I kind of related to that song a little, and I'm sure Thommy can relate to that 24/7. Go on.
What do you mean by that?
You
No, I don't.
know what I mean by that.
Wait, no, what genuinely do you mean by that? I like the song, because again, like you said, it's running out of time, and he says like I'm running out of time to make this girl, or not make this girl, make this guy like me.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, I misspoke there. And I think now's a better time than ever to mention that Igor is talking about a guy throughout this entire album.
Yeah, it took me like a few re-listens to realize, oh shit.
It took me up until this song, and then I heard it. I was like, oh. And so you see specific lines where it's like, yeah, you're running out of time to make this guy like you, and the reason why that is because of this one specific line. He says, "Take your mask off. I need her out the picture."
Mm.
And you're talking about a guy and maybe this girl that he's talking to. I don't know, like maybe
A guy that he's about to be a girl that the said guy's about to be in a relationship
right.
with.
And when he says like take your mask off, I think he's talking about him hiding his sexuality, right? And that like he's in the closet or something like that maybe. And so it's like take your mask off. Like why are you pretending to be straight? Why are you pretending to like this girl or be in a healthy relationship, right? Or about to be in this healthy relationship. Get her out the picture. You don't need her. You need me, right? And I feel like this is this is kind of like where it transitions from like I have a love interest, like talking from like Igor's perspective, I have a love interest to more so like I'm starting to obsess about this guy, right? When you're saying like I need the person that you're thinking about dating out of the picture completely, they need to be gone.
Which transitions to my favorite fucking song in the album, New Magic Wand. Oh man, this song, I discovered this song a long time ago when I was like back in like probably like my gym days, like YMCA.
Is Mike okay?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, I noticed they were like the exact same. That was weird. So I discovered this song a long time ago when I was like going to the YMCA when I was like 16, and are you still looking at the?
No, I'm listening.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was concerned. And just the extreme anger in this fucking song just really encapsulated me at the time, and I think that this is like the anger part of the 5 stages of grief almost.
Ooh, that's a good way I haven't thought about using the
Yeah.
5 stages of grief with this song at all. That's a very good.
Yeah, I mean he goes through.
Yeah, he's going through it. Oh my god, I never made that connection.
Puppet is bargaining.
Yes, but we will get into that in a little bit.
And New Magic Wand, and I remember I liked it even more when I heard this one interview from Tyler talking about like that is his favorite song to perform, and I will say I saw the Grammy performance for this. That was one of the best performances I've ever seen, and I know I'm glazing here.
No, you're
but
not. Don't.
It was genuinely amazing.
I personally never watched the award shows. I like them, I guess, because I mean you're awarding your favorite artists and stuff. I never paid attention to those, but so I that reference over my head, but I'll watch it.
I will pull it up right after this podcast, man.
I do think New Magic Wand is where it completely goes from like Igor saying, "Yeah, I like this guy," to I'm obsessed with this guy, and crazy.
Guy.
Like I need, because the specific line, "She's gonna be dead. I just got a new magic wand." Like that's you're pretty much fantasizing about killing the person that your love interest is gonna be with, and I feel like that's just insane. And so it comes like, at what point does love cross the line into obsession, where it's like you like someone, you can love someone, right? But once it gets to that point, I start thinking it's like very, very like evil, misconstrued like feelings, and
yeah,
where I'm like, yo, you're kind of getting crazy, Igor.
yeah, like you gotta understand at some point if what you're putting in is being reciprocated, chances are they don't like you as much as you think. And also, I want to comment on something because it actually took me a while to get like magic, gone, because yeah. I think it was just me being stupid brain, just listening to the fucking beat. But it took me a second to realize, oh shit, he wants to kill this woman.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, well, the "she's gonna be" deadline kind of.
I straight up thought that
went over your head.
Yeah. Dude, don't blame me. I was going hard on the fucking Stairmaster.
It took me no, because honestly, a lot of songs, and this is why we wanted to make the podcast, is because a lot of songs, and even for me, because I had to listen to this album like 3 times in a row to get. Y'all can't see it, but I literally have like a docs with like different little points I want to say and stuff, like a freaking Socratic seminar. I'm a nerd. Yeah. But I have like little points and stuff, and it took me like 3 listens on this album to get like these specific quotes and like questions I wanted to really ask and stuff. So certain things or certain references go over your head a lot, and it happens a lot more with like, I wouldn't say this album because I would say it has a lot more rhythmic tones, but like specifically in like hip hop and like the rap scene and stuff, with how fast they're talking and a lot of obscure references based on like where you are in the country, I would say, because certain references made from rappers from like Los Angeles or like Chicago or ATL, right? You wouldn't understand in New York and vice versa. So like that kind of there's certain references and then also how fast they're speaking or rapping. Certain things just so I don't blame anybody. It takes me a lot of listens to get over this. But I'm going on a tangent. I'm sorry. Should we go into next song?
Yeah, I mean, reluctantly, I just really fucking love that song. Like, I imagine I'm performing it in the shower sometimes. I know I'm fucking glazing the
That's
shit
how you
out
know
of it.
you like an album, by the way.
Yeah.
That's what cements like I really like this album is either if you have it on multiple playlists, if you have one song on multiple playlists, you fucking love that song. That's a sure tell sign. But also you do a little bathroom performance. I love music. I play a lot of music. I love playing the guitar and stuff. And I have a list of songs that I like specifically imagine playing in a show or in a concert and stuff. And that's how I know like I really love this song. I'm
Yeah.
going on a tangent again.
This
I'm
episode
sorry.
is 45 minutes of glazing.
My fault. Next song is A Boy Is a Gun.
Real quick.
yeah.
I wanted to
Oh,
talk about
my
the
fault.
No. Still Boys Gun.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to talk about the asterisk in the title. This was actually... I looked into it, and apparently it's like a... What's the word? Like a replacement, so to speak?
Oh, like a revision.
Yeah, of a line in a movie, I forgot which one, that said, "A girl is a gun." And that was kind of like a very quoted, like, line in pop culture. Tyler took it, flipped it on his head because he's gay.
Damn, you said that with hatred.
No.
You said that with hate. You were like,
He's gay.
should I be worried?
Are you?
No, I'm not. No.
So that's why it's relatable.
Whoa.
That's why it's relatable.
I'm not. What do you mean? Hold on.
So
the
that's
mic
why-
just peaked. Oops.
Oops, okay.
Honestly, we so hell to edit. The mic just peaked on the fucking...
Look, that's just...
So yeah, no.
That's just part of the territory,
The
okay?
asterisk is on the title because it's like a revision. So like, you know when you're texting someone and you do a little typo and stuff, so you kind of resend the message with a little asterisk at the end? It's kind of like that. I get what you mean.
Don't shoot me down.
I would say this is where I started listening to the album and I was like, oh, maybe he's getting better. Maybe just a little bit. Because this is where he says the line, "Stay the fuck away from me." And when I'm viewing this album and I'm kind of picturing a story in my head, I'm thinking he starts realizing he's losing emotional power over the situation, right? He's losing his emotional power and he eventually wants to cut ties with this guy who, again, might be reciprocating a little bit of the feelings. And he's saying, like, stay the fuck away from me. I don't want to deal with this anymore. I don't want to be in a relationship with you. I don't want to be in this, like, I'm giving you my attention, but you're not giving me much in return. And you see that from, like, I think, because you know, like, in certain lines, and I think he says, like, I'll give you money, I'll pay for this, I'll pay for that, I'll spend my time with you. I don't care. I really like you. And now he's starting to realize, I'm giving you my I'm giving you my feelings, my attention, my money, and I'm not getting nothing in return. Stay the fuck away from me. I don't want to be a part of this. And so I'm listening to it, and I'm like, he finally snapped. He's getting his shit together.
Yeah, that's where you think, like, the rationale is, like, actually forming in his brain. Like, oh, I'm not having my efforts reciprocated. I've been played a fool. I'm not going to entertain this anymore. But that's just denial, so to speak.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean,
like, because as we know further into the album...
Sorry. You go. I'm sorry.
You do the frontman dance one more time.
I'm sorry.
I love it. Shit. I fucking trained at the...
I'm not fault. I'm like
freaking
freaking ADD. I'm sorry.
So let's go to some questions then. Do you think any relationship is ever freeing? Does it ever feel very like a
when
weight
you're
on your chest
ending,
is
and
gone?
this is what I'll say, I don't want to be like, oh my god, I have experience with this because I'm a lover boy. Like, I hate, like, I said it before. I'm not, I know, exactly. It sounds so cringe saying that, but I will say, when you're in a relationship and you kind of start feeling like it's toxic and stuff, right? And you get angry, right? And you start snapping, you start realizing, like, I've been there, right? And when you end it at first, it is the most freeing feeling of your life. You're like, I'm finally out of this. But with guys, I feel like we're a lot more impulsive, and a lot shorter tempered, I would say. So a lot of stuff that happens, I used to get angry in relationships, and I'd just be like, listen, I don't want to deal with this anymore, right? And I guess also I've had friends who have been like, Tom, you got to get out of this. It's toxic. You're doing this. You're not getting anything in return. Like, just leave it, right? And I've ended it. I wouldn't say as impulse, but more so just out of like pure, I guess anger, right? I mean that's kind of what he has in the song. He's like very very angry. Stay the fuck away from me is what he's saying to the guy. So he's ending it to get his emotional power back. You have that freeing feeling, but then I would say not even like 2 days later, I'll be like, fuck. Was I acting out of complete impulse? Was I kind of like did I get ahead of myself? And that's when you're kind of like bargaining with yourself, like, oh fuck, did I do the wrong thing? I've been there too. It's not a fun feeling.
And speaking of bargaining, let's go to Puppet.
Yeah. And
I put that transition ahead of time. I'm so fucking smart and philosophical.
And this is where you start realizing, like, and then when I said before, like, Igor in A Boy Is a Gun, I'm like, oh my god, he's actually snapping. He's kind of like figuring himself out. And then this is where it kind of like flips on its head, and you're like, oh wait, no, he's not. And I start kind of like listening to this. I'm like, you idiot. But at the same time, I've been there, so can I really be upset? And he's like, I'm your puppet, you control me, right? And this is kind of like an homage to, and I think, because he says like, I'm your puppet, you're Jim Henson. But it's like, instead of that like, oh, I'm willing to give you my attention, it's like a complete control. Like, I am a subordinate to you. You will always control me, and that's how this relationship's working. And he becomes very dependent on his love interest in this song. And this is when you start realizing that there's a power dynamic in this relationship, because Igor is obsessed, right? And he's starting to realize, I cut this off and I really shouldn't have done that, because I'm obsessed with this guy. And it's just going further and further deeper into that hole. I'm sorry, I'm rambling a lot. I don't give you a chance to speak. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say that, like, I'm your puppet, you are Jim Henson from I Think. I immediately thought of that line when going into this song, because like at first it was like, I'm putting you on a pedestal because I really really like you, but now after A Boy Is a Gun you realize this is unhealthy. But Puppet, he's still going through with it because I'm your puppet, you control me. He's fucking obsessed now. And so that reminds me of this one line which I thought was pretty cool, and MF Doom does this as well. What is it called? Like, where you set up a word to rhyme with another, but you change it.
You could just completely make a left turn. I forgot the specific term, and I should know this because I love looking at the lyrics. I'm that guy where it's like I won't even listen to the song sometimes. I'll just read the lyrics on its own
Like,
and kind of like
screenplay, yeah.
Yeah, and I forgot the specific. I'm kind of like upset with myself right now for not knowing this, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Where you're kind of setting up for the correct rhyme, and you kind of just, I'm not going there.
Yeah. So in this song, he goes, "What do you need? Do you need bread? Do you need this? Do you need a hug?" Instead of saying,
I shouldn't have done that. I want to apologize. I will blur that out.
"It's not that kind of podcast."
I should have just said head. I should have just said head. I don't know why I did the vote. My fault. It is like 10 o'clock in the morning. It is 11:55.
Yeah, I haven't had breakfast. I want to fucking McGriddle, bro. Stop looking at your interview.
It's the Chipotle interview. I'm sorry.
Oh, sign up for it, dude. Don't
I'm
let
gonna
me
do it, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh no, we're booked."
Check now. Then.
Do it later.
All right, whatever.
Podcast. My fault, guys.
That's important still. So I think that line, because a lot of I would say Tyler Creator, one of his inspirations is MF Doom. Like, we see it in interviews, we see it in his music. Sorry, I didn't know what you were doing. And so to see this kind of like technique utilized as well reminded me of when I was a huge MF Doom fan, which, I mean, still like him. Don't listen to him as much.
He's considered every rapper's favorite rapper, and for good reason. You have a lot of those like lyrical motifs that a lot of rappers or now hip hop artists just all together kind of like take from, or not. I wouldn't say take, but kind of like use. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's actually a really cool thing, and Tyler uses it a lot, especially when he's talking about his sexuality, which I find very interesting. But with this whole like puppet song, and it's pretty much, it went from putting someone on a pedestal to now you're just belittling yourself completely, and you're saying like I'm nothing compared to you,
Yeah,
and you're
like
gonna always have
straight
that
up
control over
dehumanizing
me.
yourself.
So
But
it's.
oh wait, no, sorry, continue.
I wanted to ask: is dependency always a weakness, or is that like a normal thing with like human connection? Like you're always gonna be like, if you're in a relationship, right? It doesn't necessarily need to be romantic. You're always gonna like feel like a little bit of a subordinate to someone, like
Um,
dependent on them.
I would, I would say it's a case by case thing. I would say that it depends on like the context, so to speak. Like in sometimes you don't have a choice. Like for example, God forbid you're injured and you're old, and I mean at that point you kind of have to admit you're gonna be dependent
Yeah,
on
at the
someone.
free will
Hmm.
of your family.
Yeah, but like I guess you mean like in the case where like it's two able-bodied people.
Yeah.
Hmm. In that case, I would try. I would say a amount of dependency is good, especially like it makes socially people much more connected, and it builds like a sort of trust between people. Definitely good for rapport, but I'd say that being able to be confident that you could do things yourself, but knowing that things will be easier if you utilize someone's help, so to speak, is the nice balance.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think it goes back to like that old saying where it's like, oh, you gotta help yourself before you help others,
Hmm.
right? And it's the same thing where it's like you shouldn't enter a relationship with someone until you're 100% first. If you're not happy on your own, you're not gonna be happy with someone else. I think this is a huge thing for like I think the entire album, because you can't imagine that Igor was happy or stable on his own prior to his obsession with this guy.
Mm.
So how do you figure he's gonna be stable and okay when he's in an actual relationship with him? And I think that's why the guy is not reciprocating all these feelings back towards him. It's very I mean, if I was someone and if I was like, well, I am a person, but if someone was going up to me,
No, keep up.
man, if someone was going up to me and they were like that obsessed and stuff, it would drive me away. So it's like you kind of understand that. But I think dependency isn't always a weakness, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
It's just again, you have to make sure you're okay on your own first before you just completely submit to someone else.
Mm-hmm. And so transition to the next song. Not yet.
My fault.
Puppet has a very good transition, in my opinion. At the very end of the song, he goes, "But at some point, you come to your senses." And as soon as he does that, we enter this angry beat, akin to New Magic Wand.
I forgot the instrumental. I'm sorry.
Fuck. It's good, but like, so transitioning to what's good, we get this very angry realization that, again, I am obsessed. I'm not gonna do it again.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm. And we see this wave, like kind of like a, I like this guy. Oh no, I'm obsessed. I don't like him. I like this guy, and just goes over and over.
Which is why, and when I was listening to this for the first time, I was like, oh my god, I don't like this character. Because it's very, like, you were so close. You were, like, so close to breaking it off and being like, okay, I'm good. I'm
How do you
fine.
keep
Leave me alone.
fumbling with
And
yourself.
exactly. Where it's just like, just leave. Just take yourself out of the situation. You're going to be good on your
Go
own.
for a fucking walk.
Exactly.
Ride around town.
Exactly. And then he goes from what's good, and it's like, he's just angry, he's obsessed, he's bargaining not only with himself but now with the person that he's talking or wanting to have a relationship with, and kind of like just shoving all that stuff in his face and just being like very grotesque. And it's kind of like, that's another question I want to ask. I'm asking all these emotional questions, by the way, because I'm a very people person. He asks more so the song, like the questions about the song and I guess the content, but I'm a very like introspective, I would say.
You want applications
yes,
to real
exactly.
life, like you're, well, in English.
I'm like a
major.
philosopher. Yeah, I am an English major. I'm a
Yeah.
literature major. So, jobless.
It's so hard.
I'm pre-homeless.
Just say the fucking question.
How does anger serve as a coping mechanism? Like, is there like times where it's like something bad happens to you, maybe a breakup or just shit like that, or it's like even bad grade. I mean, just something bad happens to you, and you just get angry, and then afterwards you feel better.
I would say that, man, a lot of a lot of my answers is gonna be like a case by case thing, but like in my opinion, I've had the experience of using anger as coping mechanisms. It is not fun. Let me tell you, I more often than not, I do not feel better when expressing anger. Like I'll just feel like, okay, I said a lot of stupid things to these people. I said a lot of stupid things out loud. I wasn't rational. I just had to get something out, and I could have done it in a more healthy way. That's what happens with me whenever I use anger as a coping mechanism. And I'm past that stage of my life, thankfully. I don't do that anymore. But when I did, I shed more tears than I wish I did. And so I'm very, like 90% of the time, I'm going to say, no, don't use anger as a coping mechanism. Learn to not just forgive yourself, but not forget what they did, but move on, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me personally, I think it's always a case by case situation, but sometimes anger does help. I'm not sure with the whole like biological like all that stuff in your head mental thing, because I feel like for a lot of people, it's just it comes naturally that anger is like your release, and you kind of need that. It's necessary sometimes, just as a like just to let it all out and stuff. Did GarageBand just close itself?
No, no, no. It's
Oh my
screensaver.
gosh.
Screensaver. You're okay. You're
I
okay.
was
You're
like,
okay.
oh my god, no.
Oh, dude, I was scared as shit too.
Sorry.
I don't know what that was.
Sorry, but like yeah, no, and like you said, like actually very recently in my life, I feel like I used anger a lot when I was very upset and stuff. And I just
Oh
didn't
yeah,
know
I
exactly
saw
how.
it firsthand. I'm not gonna get
I'm
into the
sorry.
nitty gritty about
Did
what.
I?
No, no,
Did I not to
not
you,
not to
though.
me. No, no,
Oh,
no.
okay.
I was thankfully there to comfort you.
Thank you. I appreciate
I
it.
am the W.
That's the thing. So yeah, you
I'm
are,
also
truly,
homeless.
This is like one of my best friends ever. He's.
We're
I don't know what I'd
glazing
do
Igor,
without
not
you.
me.
I don't know.
We're glazing Igor, not
I don't know what I'd do
me.
without you, man. Okay, let me just say I appreciate you. But truly, I mean, like for a lot of people, like you said, like anger. I feel like anger comes naturally, and it's like the first response. And while it may not be a good one, right, or the most like respectable thing to do, I wouldn't say it's necessarily the wrong thing. It's just more so how you channel your anger out, right? For me, I used to lash out on people that I thought were like the immediate blame, and I completely regret that. I've made amends with some, I couldn't with others, and that's just one of those things. And you kind of learn that, and you take that with you for the rest of your life, and you learn a little bit of self control. But it's just one of those things where it's like anger, but like afterwards, yes, you feel somber, you feel a little bit sad, but you kind of feel better than you did before. That's why like stuff like you ever see those like rage rooms and stuff exist, or I saw on TikTok. Apparently, I forgot which country it was. They make these like clay sculptures. Do you ever see these? It's like a clay sculpture of a face, of like let's say it was like I live right in front of an expressway, so if you guys hear like car horns and stuff, I apologize.
They're
It's just
delivering the clay
we,
sculptures.
we just it's New York. Nobody knows how to drive, but I'm going off on tangents. But they make these clay sculptures and like of like faces. Let's say it's like your boss or an ex girlfriend or ex boyfriend or ex anything, and you could just like did the mic peak?
Yeah.
Oops, sorry, but like you could literally just break. It's so fun, but like stuff like
Holy
that.
shit! You made like a
Yeah.
straight up.
Oopsies. But you can like pretty much break this stuff. But I feel like that's a healthy way to do it because you're not harming anyone physically or emotionally. It's kind of just like you're doing that to release your feelings without tormenting someone else. And I feel like that's the best way to do it. Right? I've seen people where it's like when they're angry, they go to the gym. Right? They burn off, they blow off their steam there, right? Or they'll go for like long drives. I've seen people that speed. That's dangerous. I wouldn't recommend
That's
it.
not as healthy.
Like kerosene in the freaking car, and it's just like.
No, you don't play kerosene when you're angry.
No. I mean, I've seen.
You play it when you're suicidal.
Always talk to your friends though.
Or a therapist.
Or family even. But I would say like anger does serve as a coping mechanism. Is it the best one? I think it's just how you channel that anger out. In Igor and in What's Good, he does not channel it well at all. He blows up on the guy that he's liking, right? Or I would say the love interest. Can we give him a name?
Gory.
Gory? Igor and Gory? Corey, we'll say.
Corey Kenshin.
What?
Corey Kenshin.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know Corey Kenshin?
I do not.
Stop for a loner.
But he blows up on Corey. We're gonna call him, and it's not a good way to do it at all.
Are we almost running out of time on GarageBand?
Is that possible?
I didn't know.
No, I think it just keeps going after that. It's okay.
Okay, I hope.
It's okay. It's okay.
All right.
But
one more thing I want to talk
absolutely.
about. I See the Light contrasted with, fucking This Is What's Good. Yeah, What's Good is one of the few songs where he's actually rapping instead of, oh, he does go on further. Thank you. Where he's actually rapping rather than like, the rest of the album, because the album in itself is kind of like a left turn, definitely kind of very much, sorry, not even kind of, very much different from the rest of his discography. Like, he even said it himself, like, on the physical copy as well, I believe. This is not Flower Boy, this is not Bastard, this is not anything else like I've produced.
Yeah.
This is Igor.
Yeah.
And he said it, like, I think in his acceptance speech for the award. Thank you for everyone that believed in me for doing something so different. Something along the lines of that. And I would say that... Shit, where was I going with this? I totally blanked after the fucking cutoff on the GarageBand. What I was saying, okay, I See the Light contrasted with Dracula, which is one of the first things in the actual like rapping verse. I'd say in my interpretation, which could just be stupid brain interpretation, I See the Light contrast Dracula, can't be around light. He's still somewhat deluding himself a little, despite verbally saying that he sees past this stuff.
Okay.
That's kind of how I interpret it. I'm sure...
Wait, what do you mean by deluding?
Like, Dracula, he's turning away from the light. The light, which is knowledge.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And, like, clarity.
Oh.
That's kind of how I took it. Like, there's still that kind of sense, so to speak, that he wants to turn away from, but he's still verbally very, very direct. Mm-hmm. And so, I don't have a good transition this time. Let's go to the next...
Wait, no, actually I do. So, like, when you're saying, like, that, and I guess, like, when he says, like, I see the light and stuff,
mm-hmm.
And how, if you're saying, like, the light is knowledge, and we're talking about how, like, anger and you're blowing up on someone, I think Gone, Thank You is when you have that aftermath of blowing up on someone.
Kind of
or
like...
getting, like, angry and stuff, and you're kind of like,
kind of like the post-nut clarity.
I wouldn't... You can't yell at me for, like...
You made the fucking motion, okay? I can yell at you whatever I want.
That was such a...
Gone, Thank You is post-nut clarity.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I guess. I'm not gonna be able to show this to my parents.
Yes, you will, okay?
No.
You'll be fine. They've said worse.
Yeah, but nothing takes better from me.
Yeah, you would...
That motion. I'm such a bad person. I'm such a bad person.
Yo, remove Puppet from this fucking show.
Anyways,
remove the puppets.
Gone, Thank You is the clarity after, like, blowing up on someone, being angry, having that, like, bit of rage, and he says, like, my love's gone, throughout the entire beginning of that song, or that first portion,
mm-hmm.
which is like, I made this irreversible error. Well, he's been making irreversible errors, but I think this is when he finally, like, he realizes it.
No, yeah, you're right with that, and I have more to say about the second half, but one part of Gone, not only is he, like, saying, okay, I'm over it, finally, I'm over it, and he's kind of, like, is entering the acceptance part of the grievance.
Is that what you put in? Because I see, like, the quote, I just hope to God she got
a good taste. But then he's still a little spiteful, talking about, I could have done so much more for you than this girl could put you on some shit you never see.
What that reminds me of?
Could play a couple songs that you could dance to.
Do you know what that reminds me of?
She could compete with me.
That, like, sort of feeling, or that, like, the feeling I just got from that line. When he says, like, I hope to God she got good taste, that kind of reminds me of When I Was Your Man by Bruno Mars. Towards the end of the song, he's like, I hope he buys you flowers. Right? And all that stuff. I'm not going to sing. I'm not a very good singer. But, like, that whole end
just
of
go for it, man.
No, I still forgot the line.
Alright, whatever. Just say that, man.
But, yeah, no, towards the end of the song, it's like...
your flowers.
Yeah, I hope
he holds your hand. Should give you all his hours.
When he has the chance.
Take it to every party.
I'm keeping this in.
We're not gonna get copyrighted, right?
No.
Okay.
Because we're very bad at singing, so I don't think they're gonna think.
Oh, thank God! Thank God! Thank God! Thank God! Thank God! Thank God! Thank God!
But that's what that kind of like reminds me of, where it's like, listen, like I'm kind of accepting the fact that you're leaving, you're out of the picture, or I'm out of the picture rather. But I hope that they can do all the stuff that I wish I could, right? You get that.
They wish they were me.
Exactly, and so it's a little bit of spiteful, but I would say it's kind of like a little. You're kind of going towards like acceptance, where it's just like that, and then you transition to the second part of the song, which is thank you.
Not yet. Though.
Oh, not yet.
There's something I wanted to talk about. This is something very brief that it took me so many listens to, because Gone Gone Thank You is such a very good song, but it took me a few listens to think of this part. Now, in the transition to the next song, Thank You, or like the next half of the song, there's a line where he goes, "Need me to do it over? Everything." Now, at first glance, this is like, oh, someone left this in like an editing mistake or something like that. But if you interpret it in the context of the song, he's still bargaining. Need me? Do you want to do it over? Do you want to try again at this?
Yeah.
And I think that's just like very, very clever to pose, whatever, to make it look like it's. Damn, why am I burping?
You okay?
I just had a lot of water. I don't know. To make it look like it's just like something left in from like editing.
Yeah.
But to actually interpret it like that.
Absolutely.
I had a glowing brain genius moment right
And
there.
still, like, listen, I'm accepting the fact that I'm out of the picture. Not even you're out of the picture. He's saying, like, I'm removed from the situation, but I'm always going to be here, just a little bit. So, I mean, I don't mind.
Can we try again? Please,
Exactly.
please, 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 please,
Pretty
please,
much.
please,
It's just
please.
like, I'll always be that second option. I'm willing. I personally don't think, like,
Please say yes. Please say
you're
yes.
not the
Please.
first option, you're not an option at all, I think. Because that's just me personally.
Yeah,
He's
because
just like saying, like, listen, I'm okay with that. If that's why. Oh, I'm sorry, I left the remote here. I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
It's
I didn't know that was
okay. I'll.
But like he's saying, like I'll be that second option. If you want, it's okay. I'm still here. So if that doesn't work, I'm Plan B, and I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I thought that lyric was very, very clever, because he's still in that bargaining stage. Yeah. He's still in that sort
I
of.
don't think he ever really leaves.
Yeah, he doesn't leave. Yeah, that's kind of the thing. He stays with all of the stages of grief, so to speak. But it's just one part of a stage of grief that he kind of goes all in on at certain parts of the album. And so let's transition to the thank you, the other half of the song.
This is probably one of the most popular parts of the album. I would say, because of all the edits on TikTok.
I'm guilty of that as
It's
well.
also a very, very good song on its own. So I'm not saying it's a TikTok song by any means. It's a great song. And that's the thing. He says, like, thank you for the love. He says, I don't want to ever fall in love again. And I think that's that, like, whole. You're picking this other person over me, right? Fine, so be it. Thank you for all of this. I don't like even like treating me as the second option, for giving me the little attention that I got from liking you, taking like all that stuff. Even though I think it was just a crappy experience. It was a slap in the face to Igor.
Mm-hmm.
Saying thank you for it regardless. I appreciate that, and but at the same time, he's like, I don't want to be put through this ever again. And this is where I'm also like you said before, it's like a wave between like, I like this person, I'm obsessed with this person, like healing, like you're getting better, it's like going down again, you're like
going back to them, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think that whole I don't want to ever fall in love again, I think that's like part of that like whole healing thing, where it's like you're finally realizing like this isn't right for you, and you're like, I want to take a break from this all.
I'll be thankful for the experiences that I had, but I never want to have that shit happen to me ever again.
I think this is it's a transition from heartbreak to acceptance,
I
would say. Do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's literally like the whole album as a whole.
But now with that whole like, I don't ever want to fall in love again, do you think avoiding romance is healthy?
So I think not so much avoiding romance, but not getting back into it too fast. I'd say that giving yourself ample time to reevaluate what went wrong in that relationship, what you did wrong, what they did wrong. I think you should take that into consideration when thinking about the next partner, but also giving yourself ample time to make any changes or any reevaluations that you need to make.
Yeah.
I think. Oh, where's my? Oh, it's the headphones. I forgot I had it on hearing. Sorry, sorry. Um, Personally, I've seen a lot of people kind of go for rebounds, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I think the part of this trend, avoiding romance healthy, you shouldn't go cold turkey. Don't do any extreme. Don't get back into romance immediately, but don't avoid it entirely either.
Yeah, I think everyone's meant to have a partner out there. I mean, if that's what you want. If you want to have a partner, I'm sure, 8 billion people on the
Everyone
on this
deserves
earth,
love at some point.
Everyone deserves love. And if you don't swing that way and you don't want it, all the power to you, right? But I think you shouldn't go from like, listen, I'm heartbroken. This relationship ended, right? Whether it was a romantic relationship or if it was one-sided or whatever. When you finally move on from that, I don't think anybody should just. I mean, of course you're gonna feel like that whole like I'm never gonna have a partner again. I'm never gonna like be in a relationship again. Everyone kind of has that feeling, but I don't think you should take it to complete heart and just completely isolate yourself. Like you said, everyone deserves love, but at the same time, I agree. You can't rush into it. One of the biggest things is, why am I getting emails about TikTok? I'm sorry. Yes. Anyways, one of the biggest things, and like it's like that whole like rebound culture, I guess, or you see that a lot. The social mediaification of relationships, but like you don't want to be a rebound, and you don't want to have someone else be your rebound just because then you're kind of like being an asshole to someone else. I guess you don't want to carry the stuff from your old relationship into another one. So you gotta make sure you're completely healed from, I guess, your previous relationship before you try and start again. Right? And it goes back to, I think, what I said before. Oh, what was I saying before? Oh, yeah. It goes back to what I was saying before. It's like, if you're not happy on your own and you can't be happy with yourself without a partner, you're not going to be completely happy with one. I think that's fair.
That's not insane to say that. It's not insane to say that.
So
you gotta be happy with yourself before you can be happy with someone else. You know?
Exactly.
Otherwise, it's not healthy. Otherwise, it becomes obsession. Otherwise, you become a puppet.
Do we want to move on to the next one?
Is there anything else you want to say about the last one?
Not really.
Oh,
I mean,
no,
most of the questions.
I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, that last one.
Oh, do you? Okay, yeah, absolutely. Let's go for it.
Yeah, so like he says thank you a lot.
Yeah.
Is it more like closure, or is he kind of like very reluctantly accepting?
I would say it's accepting. I wouldn't say it's closure because there's still other songs in the album. Mm-hmm. So he's never gonna get closure.
And if we know about the loop,
yes,
it's not really closure.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Fine, you know.
Exactly, yeah. And he's like a little kid in this entire album. I think that's why it's like I understand Igor's character and the point of the album. Do I necessarily like it and respect it? If you're thinking about it as an actual person, no. But it's a story, and that's the whole point of it. No. But
that was the headphones.
Oh, okay. I thought people were outside.
Yeah, we have a fucking audience now. Yo, applause for us. Oh. Yeah, nothing. They don't fuck with us.
Yeah. Okay. But that's the thing. It's kind of like a resigned acceptance, where it's just like, all right. I mean, if that's what you want, because I mean, it wouldn't be a resigned acceptance. It wouldn't be closure, or it can't be closure because he says, need me to do it over everything. He's still saying like, listen, I'm willing to be a second option for you.
Please.
Exactly.
Please.
So it's like not even please.
Kill the girl, be with me.
Okay. No, he's past that. I'll say he's past that.
I wouldn't say so. I would say
he's not like saying I'm gonna kill the girl.
No. I'm saying that like he still wants. Yo, can I be the main person, please?
No, exactly, absolutely.
Please. Yeah. I mean, obviously not going back to the new Magic Wand shit.
Exactly. Yeah. So he's like, you can't consider it closure if he's still saying like, listen, I'm willing to be your plan B. So, with that, next song.
Yeah, next song. I Don't Love You Anymore. This one's a little bit on the shorter side, 2:41, and kind of going off of what was the first half of the previous song?
What, Gone?
Yeah. Kind of going on with the theme from Gone. I Don't Love You Anymore. Like, is he trying to sort of convince himself that he doesn't love this person anymore? Or
Yeah,
Is he
I think
actually
it absolutely
dumb?
is convincing. I think it's one of those things where it's like, um, he's trying to tell himself otherwise. I think it's one of those things where it's like after you stop seeing someone, right, or wanting to be like you're trying to get over it. It's one of those things where you're just saying like it to your head, like I don't love this person anymore. I don't want to be in a relationship with them. I want no part of them. But you're still getting like dreams and stuff about them, like fucking with your head a little bit. I think
I
that's
wouldn't
the
know,
stage.
but-
No, I know.
Yeah.
It's just like that's the stage that you're in, where it's just like you're trying to get over it. In my opinion, that's the way I'm taking that song.
Ooh, I just touched the desk. Did that?
And then you have lines like that where it's like he's saying like you want to play with me like I'm a toy. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
what stage? I don't even know the stages of grief. I'm gonna be honest with you.
But
it's like you're trying to convince yourself that it's like it's. Or no, I wouldn't say grief. It's kind of like justifying it.
Mm-hmm.
Like
justifying acceptance.
yeah, I would say maybe.
But I would say
No,
there's
he's not accepting it though.
A
That's
tad
the
bit of
thing.
anger as well.
That's the thing. He's not accepting it,
Mhm.
right? When a lot of times, and I don't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. I'm gonna ramble just a little bit. But when you're like in a relationship, and it ended. Let's say it was like an ugly breakup, whatever.
Mm.
Afterwards, you kind of go in your head and you're like, I broke up with them and they're in the wrong because of this, and this, right? And you're kind of just telling yourself I'm in the right, right? And it's kind of like you're toying with yourself in the head because he says the line like you want to play with me like I'm a toy, right? And that goes back to like puppet. It goes back to I think and boyfriend and stuff where it's like you were just giving me a little bit of attention to keep me around, but you didn't want the commitment.
Yeah, like this lyric, you wasted my time, and I know that these things are not hard. Like, you should have just at some point admitted. Like, say you like me. Be direct. It's not hard.
But he didn't like him. That's the thing. He was like...
You wasted my time.
Exactly. And so that was the thing, where it's like, even if he did it or didn't, it was one of those things. And that's another thing you got to keep in mind. It's from the perspective of Igor, so he could be misconstruing things to the people who are listening. But, kind of like How I Met Your Mother. But... that's one of those things where it's like that he's kind of like trying to convince himself like listen, I'm in the right, even though I said I'm gonna kill your girl. I'm in the right. I didn't do much wrong. It was you're playing with me like I'm a toy. I don't love you anymore. Get out of my head, get out of my head, get out of my head. That's what I'm getting from this song.
There's another lyric that I wanted to talk about.
Go for it.
But this might just be better for us, because I don't love like I used to. He's still trying to convince himself like I have changed. I'm not like that anymore. I'm not going to be played a fool again. And it's better that we're not like this because that's not me anymore. And so I think that's more just telling himself because, as we know, he falls back into that mindset later on. Mm-hmm.
I put in questions about like modern romance and shit, but like low-key I don't fuck with these questions.
Yeah,
I would say like that, but I will say I'll comment it on it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like I don't like modern romance. I don't like the whole like when you're searching up on social media about like relationships and you get like the 3-month rule and 6-month rule and this rule and that rule and,
I don't
and
think
stuff like that. And I think a lot of people need to just ease up and be themselves in relationships and stop worrying about social media and what's supposed to be the perfect relationship, because if it works for you and it works with your partner, that's how it's supposed to be. But one thing I do not like, and I think this is just like a moral thing for me, I'm a very like I pray a lot and stuff like that. I'm a follower of Christ. I'm like very like that, which you guys will see throughout this entire podcast. I bring up a lot of biblical references, but that's one of those things where it's like the lack of commitment, and I don't even think that's a Bible thing. I don't think that's a Christian thing. I think that's just a people thing. You don't want to have a lack of commitment in a relationship, and that's what Igor's been getting, and I don't like that. I don't like that seeing that in this album. I don't like seeing that in this song. I don't like seeing that in real life, and it's just one of those things where it's like why is that happening so often? It's so messed up. People are terrible.
People are terrible. But I do like that, because I had some reservations about those questions as well. I didn't want to voice them at the time. But, like, going off on that, like, notion with, like, the 3-month rule, blah, 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 blah. I think if you need to set up some kind of, like, rule like that you got off the internet or some shit like that, I think that relationship's already in a shaky place.
Just whose relationship is it? Yours or like this random guy of TikTok who's telling you how to have
exactly
how to love?
Exactly. You guys should genuinely have like a hypothetical relationship should genuinely have like a heart to heart to establish these things, rather than just taking advice off some random guru online that probably hasn't seen a hand in his hand in like 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't let anyone tell you how to love. Just love.
Exactly.
If you want
That's the
to.
thing. And if
Yeah.
it works with you and your partner and it's reciprocated and it's mutual, then do what
Keep
you
going.
want. Keep going.
Keep going.
So that's that.
And if it's not, then
But
don't feel. Yeah.
if we're going back to the album,
I'm
I Don't Love
rambling.
You Anymore is literally just him bargaining for himself and telling himself that he's in the right.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just trying to convince himself that he's moving on. I think that's it. He's just convincing himself that he's gonna move on. But then, right when you're like, okay, listen, that's normal. You're kind of getting back to normal. He just flips it on his head.
Womp 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 womp.
Are we still friends? And the song is literally exactly like the title. It's just him saying, "Are we still friends? Can we be friends? Listen, I know I fucked up. I know I was crazy. I know I said all these things. I was being rude to you. I was being obsessive. But listen, if I can't have a romantic relationship with you, if I can't even be a plan B, can we just be friends at least? Like, I don't mind being friend zoned." And it's just like him kind of like bargaining still. I think that's
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
bargaining.
Yeah, like at the very least, can we know each other still? Can I still be friends with you?
Yeah.
Don't say goodbye. Smell you later.
Or even before
Yeah.
he goes like, "I've been thinking about you," like just straight up, like he realizes it. I mean, he knows that he's lying to himself when he says, "I don't love you anymore." So he's just saying like, "I've been thinking about you. I want to be friends. Can we be friends?" And that's the thing where it's like, can we completely let go of someone that we loved?
Mm-hmm. I don't want to end the season on a bad episode. Like
Exactly.
he doesn't want to end things, but like he knows he can't get back with this person.
Yeah, exactly. And you started thinking like, is this like Igor's ending?
So remember, well,
No.
he knows he can't, but he'll still try anyway, which is the ending of Are We Still Friends going into Igor's theme again, the Igor loop, where everything's just going to happen again. He's gonna fall in love with this person, or someone else.
Over and
Yeah.
over again. And maybe it's not the same guy, but he kind of puts himself in this obsessive state where he finds someone that he likes, he belittles himself, gets obsessed, gets upset when he takes it too far and the person tries backing off, bargains, gets angry, and it just keeps going and over again. And that's Igor's character. It's the Igor loop. It's one of those things. And I think going back to what I said before, I've never listened to this album, or I haven't until very recently listened to this album start to finish. I think it's really powerful when you do, and that's because of the power of the album's cohesion. Not many songs or albums do that, where it's like one track leads to the next and it all develops one big story. It's usually just a bunch of singles put together in a album, and it's just like, here, released. Tyler the Creator put a lot of effort into making sure that each track leads to the next, and there's a lot of cross references between the tracks, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I think that's probably like my favorite subgenre of hip hop. It's storytelling.
Yeah.
If whether it be in a single song, in a whole album, and we're gonna see more of that foreshadowing again.
Yeah, I love, and that's one of the things personally. I'm the same way. I love reading stories. I love hearing stories. I'm a very that type of person. I love thinking introspectively. I love thinking like, how does this relate to myself?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I love when artists, especially in music, because I love music. They paint a picture in your head, right? You see this a lot. Tyler the Creator does it. J. Cole does it. I love J. Cole. I'll get into it another time though. But it's that. Yeah, more foreshadowing.
We're just gonna point at the camera.
Every time we reference
What the hell does
something
Collins want?
I have no idea. I'm not even in Collins anymore. I'm in St. John's College. I hate that building so much. It's so old.
What this got to do with Igor?
I'm sorry. I got an email about my college. Yeah.
Are we still friends?
So did I just dox my college by accident?
Bro, your profile's public.
Oh, that is very true.
You're fine.
Oopsies.
No one's gonna come to St. John's College shoot you because you said something bad about Earl Sweatshirt or something.
I never said anything bad about Earl Sweatshirt.
Nobody say anything
I
bad
love
about
Earl
Earl Sweatshirt.
Sweatshirt.
He is amazing. He's also always sad. I feel bad for that man.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever felt happiness.
That's not Tyler the Creator though. Back to appreciating the album though. We need to get back on track. I'm sorry, but truly, I do appreciate when artists paint pictures in your head and there's a lot of cohesion between the tracks. When one album really just feels like, when an album actually feels like an album and all the songs have that same vibe and it's very consistent with one another, it just, I think, it makes the whole thing mean a lot more to the person or the audience. You can really think about it in a lot deeper of a context. My thing's charged finally. I don't have to
You
use
can
this
keep
thing.
charging. I don't mind.
I'm not, no, because I'm gonna kill my battery. This is why the battery sucks on this iPad.
Alright.
Sorry, but like that. So I like it, and I think I should have listened to Tyler's message to the listeners a lot earlier on, because I truly I wish I listened to this album start to finish so much earlier. It is such a good album. I love it. I really do. I listen to I Think a lot still, and I'm very like
It's on my playlist.
yeah. So it's powerful. I mean, it's nothing short of that, I think.
And one thing I wanted to talk about, there was looking into the like Igor as a whole. There's some funny stories happened, especially when it won Rap Album of the Year. Now, 2019 was an insane year for hip hop.
Yeah.
So many different artists were trying to go ham, especially one DJ Khaled.
I don't know this story. He's been telling me, and I'll give a little bit of context.
This thing is hilarious.
He's been telling me to do research on it, so I was like, I want the raw reaction, because he's like, I was asking about, like, okay, it won Rap Album of the Year, but is it really a rap album and stuff? Do you want to tell your story first, or should I go into that?
You could do it. I don't care.
Okay. It's kind of, like, weird, because when you listen to, and I hope you guys either listen to this album prior to listening to it, or immediately listen to the album after listening to this podcast, but or this episode rather, because it's just how good the album is. But when you're listening to it, you don't really get rap vibes. He raps in like maybe 2-3 of the songs, if even.
It's definitely a far cry from stuff that he's like I said before.
Yeah.
It's definitely a far cry from stuff he's done before. It's not exactly rap anymore. It's very much his own thing.
And he addresses this when it wins Rap Album of the Year, where you have two kind of like sides to his speech, where he's very appreciative that he got recognized in this way. He's very like, thank you for recognizing my music and awarding it. I'm very happy. I'm very thankful. It was his first Grammy, if I recall correctly.
It was.
So it's like one of those things where it's like, what artist wouldn't be happy receiving that award, right? But at the same time, he feels belittled because you're winning Rap Album of the Year for an album that has very, very few rap elements in it. It's a lot more, I mean, what genre does Igor even fall under? Like pop maybe, a lot more rhythm.
Neo
Soul. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a very soul album, I would say. So it's not necessarily rap. It does have, again, like you have certain elements like that, but it's not complete. You wouldn't consider it rap. So he felt like it was a slap in the face, because when you take like artists like him or from his demographic, or some albums with just very few elements of rap in it, and I feel like they just slapped rap on it, and he felt the same way. He addressed that in the second half of his speech, where he's just like, just because I said the N-word a few times in the album doesn't mean it's just automatically rap music.
Yeah, but still, you know, one of my favorite parts about that whole Grammy stuff, that award stuff, same time DJ Khaled was trying to go, you know, we the best music. That guy, yeah. He's always going off about how he's number one. And he tried to keep that up 2019. One of his most ambitious projects ever, Father of Assad. You look through the thing, he has a collab with everyone. He collabed with Nas, Meek Mill, SZA, Chris Brown, Lil Wayne, 21 Savage, Post Malone, everyone, Rick Ross, Gunna, Jay-Z, Future, Beyonce, Justin Bieber, Chance the Rapper. Who has thought about Chance the Rapper in the last 10 years? He did all of this, his most ambitious project quite possibly ever, with so many big names, only to get second.
Yeah.
And that tortured Khaled. Like, he went on social media, getting all salty. Oh, this weird, mysterious stuff, it's not getting played in the club. It's not... I mean, he wasn't directly saying it was Igor, but he was definitely alluding to it. This mysterious stuff.
Who wouldn't? If you put that much effort, you got all those features, and features are expensive. You got all those features, and on this, like you said, a huge, ambitious project. I actually wish I knew this story. Wow. Yeah. I would be upset. I mean, if I put that much effort into an album that's very, very obviously rap music, and I lost rap album of the year to an album that doesn't have that many rap elements. But I mean, it's good that you're saying he alluded to the fact that it was Igor and wasn't like just straight up like fuck Tyler the Creator. I hate this dude because again,
that would be very unprofessional.
it was one unprofessional, but two, like I said before, Tyler the Creator mentioned like I don't feel like it's deserving. Like I appreciate the Grammy, but I don't think it's deserving of rap album of the year. And he puts a huge emphasis on the genre. And I wanted to ask you, what genre does Tyler the Creator fall into?
I would say that he does. It's hard to say because if you go at his earlier stuff, he was definitely rapping. Yeah. He was definitely rapping. A lot of hip hop, a lot of angry stuff.
Yeah.
Like, God forbid. I apologize if you ever have to listen to Bastard. That was good. Good. You're not You're not missing out on much. I'm sorry. That album was objective. No, that's Goblin.
Okay.
Bastard is objectively bad. You have any problems with it, DMs are open. I will block you. But he was definitely like an angrier. Cherry Bomb was also kind of out there as well. Still very much rap, very much energetic stuff. Then the big shift happened. More neo soul, more funk, more calming stuff. You get Call Me If You Get Lost, which this 2021 album had all sorts of stuff. I mean, had rap songs, I know for a fact. I believe Lemonhead was one of them. You haven't listened to these songs, I believe. And but then we have more calming stuff.
References are going over my head, but I don't listen to Tyler.
Don't worry. He'll listen eventually. I'll make him.
Yeah.
But then you also have songs like, Sweet, I Thought You Wanted to Dance.
That's my favorite Tyler song.
What makes you think
I'm not in love? I know how to play that on guitar and piano. I love that song so much. It has that like reggae element to it. Mm-hmm. I'm half Guyanese, so it's kind of like my family vibes to it.
Yeah, and then we have Chromacopia, where
I love that album.
We get actual rap songs. Ra-ta-ta-ta, bitch, I'm stepping on the gas.
Or Balloon with Doechii. I have a huge respect for Doechii. I want to do an episode on Doechii. Also foreshadowing. I don't know why I keep pointing at the camera. Like
that's my thing.
Keep out, or not keep out, but keep. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. That's the word.
I'm sorry.
But then we also have songs like him, which no way you can consider that a rap.
It's depressing. Yeah, exactly. Not depressing, but it's very powerful.
Yeah, what would you call that? Sad.
Sad. Yeah, just really sad.
Yeah. So to give you an answer. It depends. It very, very much depends.
He says this in interviews too, where it's like, "Oh, you wanted this genre from me? Okay, boom.
Oh yeah, that interview. I wanted to talk about that. In his early in his career, around like 2017, he's like, Tyler the Creator, not this. Tyler the Creator, not that. Okay, I'll give you a pop song. So he gave him "See You Again," and then they said, "Oh, you playing it safe, Tyler." And he went, I'm playing it safe. I'm taking that shit personal." And he made Igor.
Exactly.
And then he took a gamble with New Magic Wand. If that is not like my best song, if that is not amazing, I will quit music.
And it ended up being his best song.
Yeah, like I think that just bravado also makes Tyler the Creator such a good artist to me. I wanted to go back to that DJ Khaled story because I
absolutely.
Didn't
I'm sorry.
I didn't
mean to cut you off on that.
But Tyler actually responded, "Oh yeah, my shit's mysterious. I'm not being played in the club, but I don't need to say anything. That Grammy speaks for itself."
That's fair.
And not just that. Another thing. Shit, it's moving from my mind. Oh yeah. His he talked about his whole personality as being number one. So when he didn't get number one, it was like seeing a man's world crash right in front of his head. And the disrespect, he named it after his son, and he didn't win it. Yeah, that shit was hilarious to watch, but it is kind of tragic.
It's kind of tragic, yeah. I would say. I don't necessarily like DJ Khaled's music, but like it's one of those things where it's like you have to understand like how upsetting that would be. Yeah. For anyone, so it's just one of those things.
Does he have veneers? He's got like a fucking.
I'm gonna screenshot that. I'll edit that in the video. All the references.
He has a Steve Harvey smile.
Sit on it.
I'm gonna say, sit on it. Kill. What are you talking about? Go. Fucking hell.
Anyways, back to Igor as an album. We talked about what genre he falls into, and it's many. It's plentiful. It's that. Personal thoughts on the album? You want to close up on the album, I guess?
Oh, I've already said my opinions that this is, in my opinion, probably his best album, like, in terms of, like, consistency. Not just consistency, but also, like, the amount of bangers on it. As far as my favorite, you said your favorite songs. I think
yeah.
New Magic Wand, very
Okay.
different vibes there.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're on the same album just goes to show his versatility in music. He's moved away from like one type of like music making, or like very very linear.
Do you think this is
Mhm.
this album is, and this is because I don't know Tyler the Creator, like his discography
Sure,
much
sure.
at all, but is this timeline, like in his timeline, do you think it's the start of like when he starts branching art out to other genres, or would
No,
you say that happened prior?
I would say that happened in Flower Boy. And arguably it happened earlier if you consider some of his other songs, but he was still very much limited.
Yeah.
Like previously, he had some outliers. Sure, he had some outliers. Like for example, "Answer" off of Wolf. I wouldn't consider that too much of a rap song. There is rapping in it, but it's definitely slower. But I would say the general like he starts branching out was in Flower Boy.
Okay.
Igor, he started going insane,
Yeah.
so to speak. And I'm really excited to show off more Tyler the Creator to you and the people watching.
Yeah.
If there's
absolutely.
anyone
I'm
watching, this could be a
excited.
fucking bum show.
Yeah, it might
This
bomb.
could, yeah.
It's okay.
Concrete
We're just gonna
Canvas can be fucking rolled over, man. But
My thing with this whole thing
is,
is, and I'm gonna say my thoughts on the album, and then I'm gonna go into the podcast because I want to close the podcast and kind of give you guys a little bit more context. But the first thing I want to say with the album is I sound like a broken record almost, but I really appreciate when artists have cohesion in their albums. You have different, I mean, of course, every album is gonna have their own vibe. Every artist does this, and you see this like with people, despite the genre, or regardless of the genre. Like Bruno Mars, you see there's a obvious difference between like Unorthodox Jukebox and 24 Karat Magic to Silk Sonic, right? All different sorts of vibes with it. So it's like, of course, each album's gonna have their like a more distinct feeling. But I love when there's cohesion between the tracks within it because they tell a story, and I'm a sucker for stuff like that. Doesn't mean I hate albums that don't do it, but it's just I think it makes Igor all that more powerful. So I really appreciate it. But I want to close off on Igor, unless you have more to say.
No, I'm just gonna say it's we sound like the people off of Noid right now.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about Concrete Canvases. This is nothing short of a passion project of, I guess, ours.
Yeah.
This is, I would say, a smooth, I don't know, we'll see when I edit how rough or smooth this episode is. It's a first one, so it's not meant to be polished at all. But I'm happy with it. I've always loved music. I've been playing so many different instruments since I was like maybe around 5. I'm 18 now, and a freshman in college, and I've always wanted to do something related to music. I know how unstable the arts is or creative careers are, so trying to sell it to my family is not really the easiest stuff. But so this became like a passion project where it's like if I'm not skilled enough or have the commitment to work in the creative arts, I'd at least like to take the time to talk about them. And I'm very happy and lucky that I found someone who I can do that with. Eshan, he's really an awesome person.
I'm blushing.
So yeah, no, truly, I no, but like truly, I appreciate you. I appreciate this. It's like a glorified book club, I would say, because we have a Discord server. We kind of like set up different things. We lock in specific topics, and we're like, okay, we're gonna spend a week and a half, not even, just researching, and we'll get together and we'll talk about it. And that's what the point of Concrete Canvases is supposed to be. We're 2 kids from New York City, which I think is the capital of the arts, and we're just talking about it. So, and what we think. Again, you go a lot more into the content of it.
Mm-hmm.
I love talking introspectively. I'm very that philosophical type person, and just talking. And so again, it's a passion project. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. And always comment what you think about the podcast, about the albums that we're talking about, the content, everything. I want to know what you guys think about this. What ideas you guys have. And
any future albums you guys want us to talk about?
I'm always open. I have a very open palette, so is it palette? Is that the term? Like for taste?
You could use that.
I have a very open palette. Like, I'm open to listening to anything. I'm not really, I don't discriminate by genre. I listen to country music, and nobody listens to country music. I love listening to just different things. So I will take the time, and I'm going to respond to every comment, everything. So thank you guys.
Man, this was a long time in the making. This guy kept fucking harassing me like a side piece, calling me every day of every other hour So I'm like, yo, we should do a podcast. Yo, when are you gonna come over for the podcast? When is test day?
Yeah.
Can you have my kids?
Well,
Like,
I didn't say that.
Jesus.
Hold up, not that kind of show. But yeah, no, it's been one of those things where it's like
Highly anticipated from this guy. Me, I was kind of dragged into it, but you know what? I'm not complaining anymore, cause like I got to talk about stuff with my best buddy here. My best buddy. Get out of frame, dickhead. My best buddy. And I got to put him onto an album I really liked.
Yeah.
He's gonna put me onto an album he really likes.
yeah, I have an episode coming up that or an idea for an episode coming up that I would love, and hopefully we'll get some like actual guests on because we're co-hosts on this. It's not like he's gonna be gone anytime soon. I'm not gonna be gone anytime soon. This is my apartment, so yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And like I said before, comment your ideas, comment your thoughts on again the album, the podcast, editing ideas, specific things you guys want to see or don't like.
Maybe you just fucking hate us.
And I'll take it. I'm very I'm open to suggestions. I think is it creative criticism? What was it called?
I know the word you're trying to say.
Constructive criticism.
Yes.
Sorry,
yes,
constructive criticism. I'm willing to take it. I don't mind humbling myself. So
he loves
that and then always like.
Keep going.
Can't have shit, bro. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and follow our social medias. I'll put them somewhere around, and because I'll edit it and it'll be like floating and stuff.
You remind me of like when Usher was in that one music video. They didn't put him in this. You gonna edit that in?
I'll edit that in. So,
This has been Concrete Canvases. I've been Eshan. This is
Thommy.
And I didn't exist. The accident was 15 years ago. You have to let go.
What?
You have to let go.
What? Do I have to like edit you out now?
Yeah, I'm fading away.
Mr.
Like,
Stark, I don't want to go.
I'm fucking stopping the recording.
Okay.